Dear students of first year, Assalamu alaikum. You are welcome to my class. Dear students, now I am present in front of you with a topic. The name of the topic is The Luncheon by William Somerset Maugham. Today we will be acquainted with the lesson The Luncheon. Dear students, from the picture on the screen, we can easily guess that the name of the story is The Luncheon, written by William Somerset Maugham. We know luncheon is the story deals with the side effect of overeating. At lunch, we have to take different type of food items, no doubt, but we have to think whether these food items are suitable for us or harmful for our human body. And from the story, we will get some information regarding the luncheon, and the story of luncheon deals with the expectation of the young writer to meet the lady guest and how the young writer is exploited by the lady guest, and last of all, what is the ultimate result of overeating and voracious eating. And for this voracious eating of the lady guest, she became overweight, and this is the result of overeating. And from this story we will be acquainted with the bad effect of overeating or excessive eating. Let us try to be acquainted with William Somerset Maugham. This is the picture of William Somerset Maugham, a British playwright, novelist and short story writer. He is a playwright, novelist and short story writer. Born on 25th January 1874 in Paris. He was born in Paris in 1874. Writer of Human Bondage, the letter, the history of is Liza of Lambeth Head, first novel, his first novel. His first novel's name is Liza Beth. Died on 16th December in 1965 in Nice in France. So we see this is the date of death 1965. He was born in 1874 and died 1965. This is the life history or lifespan of William Somerset Maugham. We are acquainted with William Somerset Maugham. Learning outcomes. From the story, what we will learn? At the end of the lesson, students will be able to know the definition of short story. From the study of this lesson, we will be acquainted with the definition of short story. We will know what is a short story. Secondly, learn about irony. In case of presenting the story, there is the use of irony, and what is irony we will know. Learn about balanced diet and the consequence of overeating. From the study of this lesson, we will get information about the balanced diet and the consequence of overeating. If we take excessive food items, then it is known as overeating, and what is the ultimate result of overeating. Then know about William Somerset Maugham. We could know some information about the writer William Somerset Maugham. Know some food items common in Europe. In European country there are some common food items, and we'll get some idea about the food items common in Europe. This is the passage, this is one of the passages, and from the passage we will get information about the short story as well as the beginning of the story. Let us read the story, reading and practice from the story. Let us see. It was 20 years ago and I was living in Paris. This is first person point of view. It is said by William Somerset Maugham, the writer. He was living in Paris 20 years ago, meaning what happened about the story at the time of luncheon in Foyot's restaurant. This is the starting of the story. I had a tiny apartment in Latin Quarter overlooking a cemetery. As the income of the young writer was very poor, he was earning a very limited money, and within the limited money he was living a tiny apartment, meaning very small house, and I was earning barely enough money to keep body and soul together. This line indicates that the earning of the young writer was very limited, and within the limited money he was continuing his lifestyle. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. In this sentence we are acquainted with she. Here she indicates the lady guest. The young writer expected that the lady guest would be very beautiful and he will spend some time in company of the lady guest and they would pass the time merrily. It is about the flattering of the lady guest. The lady guest getting information about the writer, she wrote a letter flattering about the young writer. I answered thanking her, and presently I received from her another saying that she was passing through Paris and would like to have a chat with me. In this sentence we get information that for the first time the lady wrote a letter to the young writer flattering so that she could convince the young writer to provide her with a luncheon. And in the second letter we also get information about the lady guest. The lady guest did not love the young writer, yet he tried her best to convince the young writer so that she would get some luncheon at Foyot's. But her time was limited and the only free moment she had was on the following Thursday. We know on Thursday the lady and the young writer met on Foyot's. She was spending the morning at the Luxembourg and would give her a little luncheon at Foyot's afternoons. And from this sentence we get the idea about the Foyot's. We know Foyot's is an expensive restaurant in Paris. Those who are the VIP or senators, this type of people take luncheon at Foyot's, and it is beyond the reach of the young writer expectation. Yet the young writer invited the lady guest at Foyot's so that they could spend some time merrily. Foyot's is a restaurant at which the French senators eat, and it was so far beyond my means that I had never even thought of going there. It is the expression of the young writer. As the earning of the young writer was very limited and poor, he could not think of going to Foyot's, yet he tried his best to provide a luncheon to the lady guest at Foyot's. But I was flattered. Now and then we get the term flattered. The lady flattered the young writer, and I was too young to have learned to say no to a woman. The writer was very young. For this reason he could not say no to the lady guest. I had 80 francs, gold francs, to last me the rest of the month, and a modest luncheon should not cost more than 15. If I could if I cut out coffee for the next 2 weeks, I could manage well enough. And from this last line we get the idea that the income of the young writer was very limited, yet he agreed to entertain the lady guest at first, and he decided to cut out coffee for 2 weeks so that he could manage the whole month. However, from the story we get the idea that the young writer, in order to entertain the lady guest, tried his best, though his income was very limited. And as he was very young, he could not say to the lady guest. And last of all, he invited the lady guest to Fayot's and have a luncheon together. Dear learners, from the story we have to know more about the story. It is written all the things that go into making a short story. We could know about the story, but we have to know what is a short story. What is a short story? In formulating or in order to write a short story, we have to justify these items. Character. Within the interaction of the character, the story develops. And in this story, the luncheon, we get two characters, the young writer and the lady guest. And within the interaction of these two characters, we see there is the development of the story. And then plot. What is a plot? Plot on which the setting of the story provided gradually, maintaining the sequence and setting different scene or situation, and in order to develop the plot of the story there are different type of settings, and in this short story we get the settings. One is the cinema hall, another is Fayot's restaurants. And then point of view meaning the expectation or aim of the writer. What does the writer expect to focus in the story? And then theme. What is the main point or main idea of the story? We know from the story The Luncheon, the main idea or theme is the bad effect of overeating. If we eat more, there is the ultimate harmful result, and this harmful result of overeating is the theme of this short story. However, dear learners, we could know different idea related to a short story. From this idea we will get some information. What's a balanced diet? We know diet meaning food items. In our everyday life, for formulating our body, to maintain the balance of our body, we have to take food items. If we take the food items only for the balance, in order to maintain the balance of our human body, then it is balanced diet. What is a balanced diet? The food items which are very essential and helpful for maintaining our health. It is balanced diet. Why do we need to take a balanced diet? In order to keep a good health, we need balanced diet. If we think that these food items are very helpful for our body, then it is balanced diet. If it more than our human body, or it is more than our necessity of our body, then it is overeating and it is not helpful for our body, it is harmful for our body. If the food items are helpful for our body, it is balanced diet. Then why do some people become overweight? In our day-to-day life, we see people become very overweight because of excessive overeating. We do not think about the importance of food item. We have to always think that food items are very helpful for our development of body. If we take excessive or more food items, and these items are harmful for our body, and sometimes we are attracted by different type of problems, and overeating is responsible for making a people overweight. So we have to consider overweight always thinking our soundness of our body. Dear learners, in this picture we see different types of food items. However, this type of food items in our day-to-day life we take, but do we think, are these food items suitable for our human body? If we take this type of food items always, it is not suitable for us. It is very hazardous for our human body. So, considering this, that we will take food items considering whether it is important or essential for our body. If it is harmful for our body, we should avoid it. So, from the very beginning of our overeating, we have to know that overeating is very harmful, and we should always avoid this overeating. From the overeating or excessive eating of food items, people become overweight. There is the picture of weight machine. Why do we use weight machine? In order to control our human body. If we do not control, then we become obesity, overweight. So, overweight is not good for our health. We should always keep in mind that overweight is very harmful for our human body. And from the picture, what we see? From the picture, we can easily guess that excessive eating, overeating, and for this overeating, the man has become overweight, excessive weight, and this excessive weight is very harmful, and it creates different type of problems, different type of disease. And same case, it is very picture of a girl. In this age, she is overweight because she takes different type of food items which are not suitable for her. As she takes different type of food items in order to meet up the voracity, and this voracity leads to overweight. So we should always think, in order to control our food item, we have to know the necessity of food item for our human body. Dear learners, on the screen I have shown a homework. Write a paragraph on the balanced diet. At your house, you will go through the text and produce a paragraph. The name of the paragraph is the balanced diet. Dear learners, from our discussion today, we could easily become acquainted with the term overweight. Food is very important in our life. We cannot avoid the necessity of food items, but we have to consider that whether these foods are essential for us or helpful for us. If it is not helpful, if it is hazardous or harmful for our body, then we should avoid it. And from the story, the lesson, we get the idea that excessive of overeating is very harmful, and considering this, every day we will have to take food items. That food items are very important for the soundness of our body. We should take food, but considering the soundness of our body. Dear learners, you will go through the text more and more, and will be acquainted different terms, and get your preparation sincerely. And saying this, I would like to complete my discussion. Thank you everybody.